What's up, guys? Back here after a bit of a bye week for myself and just taking the week off and doing my weekly power rankings here. But I'm back, and I'm back here for week 8 with a vengeance. So, you know what? We're just at about the halfway point here in the season, and pretty much the biggest thing that I realize is just how much parity that there is in this 2017 NFL season. And I mean, they brought us a lot of parity. All these teams are close. I mean, it's been very hard picking a top 10 all season long with so many teams basically neck and neck with one another. But still, I gotta do my thing here on Say What You Like and pick the top 10 teams in the NFL here. So, we got some very dangerous 3-3 teams like, Dallas, Atlanta, and Detroit. But I really can't put those 3 teams because they're really not dangerous enough to make the top 10 in week 8. And I had a hell of a time picking between the 2 teams at number 10 because they had identical 4-3 records. They're both leading the AFC South with that record. But one team was negative 18 in the point differential. But as inconsistent as this team can be at times, the Jacksonville Jaguars are sporting a plus 73 point differential, which means when they win, they're straight blowing teams out. And at least to this point in the season, they're leading the division with the winning record. And although many may find it easy to believe teams like, say, the Raiders, Broncos, Texans, or even the Titans are better teams, but so far in this 2017 season, this Jaguars team has shown us that they're a dangerous one. And with the new hope and direction that Tom Coughlin has shown this Jag squad, I mean, he has them and their fan base believing that it can happen on any given Sunday for this team. In at number 9, the NFC South leading, yes, back from the early grave to lead the division over the likes of the defending NFC champion Atlanta Falcons and even those upstart Panthers. Drew Brees, Sean Payton, and the crew have this team at 4-2 and looking good. We're talking about the New Orleans Saints. I mean, ever since trading away all day Adrian Peterson to the Cardinals, Mark Ingram is straight beasting. I mean, he's balling out with 100-yard games back to back. I mean, he's basically just given this offense the balance that they've wanted to achieve for years now. And watch out for that, because after getting rolled over a couple of times, the defense has come back with a vengeance. And I mean, they're gonna straight give it to the next team on the schedule. I believe they have the Bears, and I look for the Saints to just continue rolling, especially with them here at number 9. Number 8, the new hometown heroes here in LA, the Rams. Now, they're back here in the top 10, and we talked a lot about the way this offense has been rolling under Sean McVay with, Jared Goff at QB, Gurley at the RB spot, and Watkins as the wideout. But this week, the defense stepped up, knocking out and probably ending the career of Carson Palmer with that broken arm. And the most impressive thing, though, was they kept the Cardinals offense off of the scoreboard for the entire game. And they end that game with a big goose egg. So both sides of the ball for these LA Rams are rolling. And, you know what? They are challenging. They are challenging up in that NFC West division. In at number 7, the team that beat the Rams a few weeks ago and said, no, not so fast, thinking you're taking over the NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks. Now don't get me wrong, because there's plenty of problems up in Seattle. I mean, Doug Baldwin's pushing coaches, and we see the outburst. I mean, we see them almost weekly there on the sidelines. The dysfunction is apparent, but this team still has the talent and the veteran leadership to make a run in this year's playoffs, as long as that offensive line can at least play decently. But by the way that line has looked for most of this season, and the last couple of seasons for that matter, that might be asking a lot. In at number 6, the biggest surprise for me, these Buffalo Bills. I mean, they're only one game behind the New England Patriots in that AFC East. So, man, I thought this team was tanking. I've said it over and over again. I mean, this team has repeatedly proved me wrong. They've performed up and above expectations. I mean, they traded their best cornerback, Stephon Gilmore, over to the New England Patriots, and I thought, what a big mistake. But so far, Gilmore hasn't stepped up for the New England Patriots, and the Buffalo Bills are balling, and they're right on the heels of the New England Patriots, and that's why I had to put them up here in the top 10, in at number 6. Back into the top 5, the New England Patriots, who are on a 3-game winning streak. But I gotta admit, some of those games, it's been kind of shaky. I mean, there was a questionable touchdown call a couple of weeks ago against the New York Jets, and if that call didn't go that way, if those Zebras didn't drop the ball, we're probably talking about the New York Jets possibly, leading this division. But hey, we can talk all day about what should have been, what could have been. The thing is, as usual, these New England Patriots, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, they're here leading their division, and they're ready to take back the league and dominate the AFC. But the way that defense is playing this year, and even the offense has been inconsistent as compared to their own Patriot standards. But still no reason to think that this New England Patriots team isn't going to win the division and make a run in the playoffs this year. In at number 4 in these Week 8 power rankings, the Minnesota Vikings. Now the Minnesota Vikings, they're straight looking to take over that NFC North now that Aaron Rodgers is out with the broken clavicle. I mean, this defense is balling out. I love the talent they got on the defensive side of the ball. And it really doesn't matter who's playing quarterback because you know what? They're stepping up. I mean, whether it's Bridgewater, who hasn't played the last couple of years because of that terrible injury, and Sam Bradford, who basically gets breathed on and, he's out for 8 games, or Case Keenum, or whoever the heck is at quarterback, they're getting the job done. And now that Aaron Rodgers is no longer going to be a threat to them, I mean, this looks like the new favorite in the NFC North this year. Now, even though this team is coming off 2 straight tough losses, I still have the Kansas City Chiefs high on this list at number 3. Look, Alex Smith has still been playing out of his mind. The second half of that Oakland Raiders game this week, I mean, he was ready to take this team back, and if it wasn't for that just unworldly comeback by Derek Carr and the Raiders, I mean, there's no reason to think the Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't have won that game against any other quarterback in any other team. But, the Raiders were just playing possessed. Their season was on the line. And hey, you know what? Even the best of teams gotta lose. But when I look at this roster, I look at the talent, I look at the big play receivers and threats that they have at receiver and running back with, the new Kareem Hunt there. I mean, this rookie is just blowing it up. You got, Hill out there on the edge, and Alex Smith playing the way he does with Justin Houston, D Ford and them boys on defense. Marcus Peters, making the big plays on the back end. I mean, this team's loaded. The only thing I noticed in these last couple of weeks with these losses is this team kind of misses Eric Berry. And I can't help but think that might actually bite this team in the playoffs this year, missing Eric Berry. Now, Pennsylvania football fans have a lot to cheer about. Penn State, I think they're number 2 in the college football rankings. And, you know what? The Pittsburgh Steelers are here at number 2 in the SayWhatchaLike power rankings this week. Now again, similar to the Seattle Seahawks, there's a lot of dysfunction in that locker room. It spills over onto the sideline. You can see it. It's like, there's an implosion about to happen, but the veteran leadership and just the classic good coaching job that Mike Tomlin gives to this team keeps this team together, and we just haven't seen that explosion. So no reason to think that it is, because these leaders are these leaders. Big Ben, even though he's at the tail end of his career, I mean, he's still a Hall of Fame QB. You guys already know about AB. AB is business. I mean, he's probably the best wide receiver in the league. I previously thought I could give that title to Julio Jones, but Julio's been hurt this year and AB's been balling out. So, you know what? I haven't even mentioned Le'Veon Bell. And let's start giving props to this defense, because the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has pretty much surprised me this season, because they've made the big plays when they've had to, and that's why this team is legit at number 2 in Week 8. Pennsylvania football fans are going to have even more to cheer about because a couple of weeks ago I got straight chewed out by the Philadelphia Eagles fans in the comments for the power rankings on YouTube. If you're not listening to the top 10 power rankings on YouTube, do me a favor. Go log into YouTube, like, subscribe to the channel, comment. I mean, we like to get a good discussion going on YouTube in these top 10 NFL power rankings. But the Philadelphia Eagles fans, man, they were killing me because, I'm a poor little Cowboys fan. We're barely 3-3. And this team now is just about to be 6-1 here, beating the Washington Redskins on Monday Night Football. And not only do they have the best record in the NFC, but they have the best record in the NFL. The only blemish on the record is against the Kansas City Chiefs when they were on that run. And, that was at home, so for Kansas City. So, you know what? This team hasn't dropped a game at home, and there's no reason to believe they're going to let up. They are rolling. Got to give Carson Wentz his props. He looks like a legit franchise quarterback. And, we can talk about the offense all day. Most of the critics and analysts out there are. But what I am really, really impressed with, as a Cowboys fan, I'm fearing when we have to go play the Philadelphia Eagles this year, is that defensive line with Barnett, Chris Long, the old man Chris Long is still doing it, Fletcher Cox, and man, Timmy Jernigan. I used to love Timmy Jernigan coming out of FSU in college. I mean, these guys get pressure on the quarterback, and that's dangerous for any team. And this team consistently gets that pressure. And look, they got the playmakers on the back end of that defense as well. I mean, I was watching this Monday Night Football game, and Malcolm Jenkins is making play after play after play. So, you know what? This team is legit. I was a bit unimpressed by some of the competition that the Philadelphia Eagles faced for the first couple of weeks, I gotta admit, and I didn't have them high in the power rankings, but now there's no denying it. There's no being a hater. You just gotta give this team their props. They're 6-1, leading the NFL. Hey, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I gave you what you wanted. There's no denying it. The Philadelphia Eagles are number 1 for Week 8 in the NFL Power Rankings.